that a new Yub Nub shirt?
Yeah, Crystal made it.
Oh, nice. That's sick.
Is that a new Yub Nub shirt?
Hello and welcome to the Nerd Age Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Jonah, and I am joined with Corey.
Hello.
With Corey. By Corey. How would you say that?
It's a good
And
question.
Josh.
Hey, what's up? I join you as well.
Is it
yeah, we
joined
joined
by
you.
or is
We
it joined
joined
with?
We're
am
joined
joined by.
together.
In holy.
Are we joined with or by?
It's both.
Huh.
You can say either or.
Anyways, we're here. Nerd Age Podcast.
Barely.
We're going to be talking about some random news, talking about video games, Star Wars news, just some random stuff. And then at the end, we're going to discuss the first 2 episodes of the Marvel series Echo. We haven't watched the whole thing, but we got the first 2 episodes, so we're going to just give our first thoughts on that. We're going to jump right into some news right off the bat. Star Wars, first thing I wanted to hit you guys with. This is a rumor, but that Dave Filoni's movie that we're all really excited for, the release date for that
Yeah, I know.
is 2028.
Yeah.
So that's 4 years from now. I might be dead by then.
Who knows? Who knows?
So what do you guys think? First reaction to 2028 finally getting the GOAT's Star Wars movie.
It doesn't sound real.
It could not be real.
Doesn't Favreau's movie come out next year?
That hasn't been confirmed either.
So when is Ahsoka 2 supposed to come out?
That's another piece of the news that we haven't discussed on the show, but they
my bad.
they
Well, I think it
confirmed
depends.
the
That's why I'm
Ahsoka
at-
season
Right.
2
So-
is in the works.
Yeah. So I think we see this movie 3 to 4 years.
Okay, so 2028, you're saying?
I think 27 or 28.
Okay,
Because I think they have some work to set up stuff with
Yeah.
Ahsoka. Because I don't think we got enough to go off of in that last season.
Right.
So they need to build up a lot more.
yeah. So you're saying is you'd get probably Ahsoka season 2
Yeah.
next year,
Yeah. I
2025.
think late next year.
Okay,
Yeah, or early 2026.
Yeah.
probably.
I could see 2027 for the movie.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I trust this rumor, but
Well, it comes
It would be a
from
bummer.
Jeff Snyder,
The Inside?
the In Snyder. So he's
Zack Snyder's brother?
he's gotten some stuff. He was on Collider back in the day,
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. But he has his own kind of movie blog podcast thing, and he
So you heard through the
and
grapevine.
inside.
Okay.
His
scooper.
insider said that it's the in 2028. Now the other news we can just kind of talk about it all together because the Grogu and Mando and Grogu movie directed by Jon Favreau has been announced.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Last episode we talked a little bit about not knowing if Mando season 4 was coming out or if it was a movie because there were rumors. Officially, there's a Mando Grogu movie directed by Favreau that's going to come out. The other rumor though is that there's still going to be a season of Mando. So Mando season 4, the rumor is it's going to be 6 episodes and it's going to lead up to
Yeah.
the movie. So the movie would
it's-
act as like this series, the season finale.
that's dope.
That's cool.
See, I love this.
Yeah.
I think this is great. What?
Yeah.
You think so?
Tell me-
Do you love it? No, but I mean that's the kind of stuff I like to see. Where a lot of the often in these situations, we're like, "Oh, I wish we had more."
Yeah.
Or I'd like to see it in a movie format just to see what they could do.
Yeah.
We get to see that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Makes me excited.
We've talked about this before. I miss Star Wars movies in theaters.
Yeah.
So I love the shows, but there is something that feels a little like cheaper, I guess, especially when they're filming on the volume and you can tell like some of the stuff doesn't look as good. Like the sets, you're like, well, you can tell they're just kind of walking the same thing over again. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. I just don't know. We've had this conversation with the Ahsoka stuff and you guys have said like diehard fans are going to know like what they're doing with Ahsoka. But what about this? Like, what about people that aren't following the Mando show, right?
Right.
And then they haven't watched the 6 episodes leading up to the movie. Is an opening crawl enough to catch
Okay.
them up? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I don't think it's that much to ask. I think we're kind of underestimating people. I think people spend so much time at home watching stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have Disney Plus. If anyone's interested in the movie, they'll hear probably through the
Yeah.
trailer or through information to be like, oh, well, it's going to be based on the latest season. So I think more people do that. I think even my mom would do that.
I
think my mom would do that.
The case.
We've dropped, not name dropped, but mom dropped on this podcast all the time.
Yeah.
That's the standard. There's like, what would your mom do?
It totally is. It totally is because she's easy to please.
Yeah.
But she can sometimes not be up on everything.
Well, and she likes
loves it.
the Marvel movies. She likes the superhero
fantasy,
movies.
She loves superheroes. Yes.
So she'll always go and watch those movies, even though she's not. I don't think she's probably watched any Marvel show on Disney Plus. I would assume.
Probably not.
But that doesn't seem to affect her enjoyment of the movies when they come out.
Yeah,
right?
I think she's easy to please. I think most people are easy to please. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Like the Marvel fans that I've talked to, like coworkers and stuff like that, they're just so positive.
Yeah,
they
throw a couple jokes in there, and it's good.
They just see the good in everything.
Bing, bang,
It's so
boom.
funny.
Showbiz.
I don't know, man. Like I'll see stuff where it's like really bad green screen or like bad effects or just not great acting or cheesy lines, and I'll be like, ugh, But these people,
they eat it up. These people eat it up.
They love it. Yeah, they love that crowd, man. They're easy to please. Their bar is so like they got a low bar. That's the way you should live life, honestly.
Yeah.
Having a smile every
never
time.
be disappointed, baby.
Yes, zero expectations. That's right.
I'm curious to see what it looks like. Like what you're saying, if they do the 6 episodes that leads into it, if they're like, oh yeah, maybe we'll make it be like a standalone story that anyone can just hop into, you know what I mean? Like with the opening crawl. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think most people will get it though.
I think so too.
And most people, I mean, season 1 of Mando was huge.
Everyone's watched
Grogu's
it.
everywhere. You know what I mean?
that's true.
So it's like you call it Mando and Grogu, and it's like,
Which I don't like that name. Do you guys like that name?
Grogu?
No, the name.
You jerk.
No, the name for the movie. Apparently, it's called Mando and Grogu. Like that's what they're saying the name is. I don't know where they're getting that
Jerry.
from, but it just seems weird.
I think it's going
Wait,
to
Mando?
The Mandalorian and
the
Grogu. I
Mandalorian.
think
Yeah.
right.
the Mandalorian and Grogu.
I think so.
If it was Mando and Grogu, and it's in
that
like
sounds like
Comic Sans,
Yeah.
ugh, I'd be pissed.
So I don't know if
what's-
that's people keep saying that's the title of it, and I'm like I don't know where they got that
I
from.
wish it was the Adventures of Grogu and Mando. Grogu
Yeah.
first.
That'd be cool.
Like I would rather it be called like Star Wars Bounty Hunter or something like that. But he's not a bounty
No.
hunter anymore.
Jedi Bounty.
Nah, you gotta
Jedi Bounty Hunter. That's Grogu.
Yeah,
That's true.
but I think
We'll see what the
Mando and
title
Grogu.
Din and Grogu. There you go, because no one knows his name's Din. They always call him Mando.
And everyone calls him Baby Yoda.
That's true.
That's true. So it should be
I think you're
Boba
right.
Fett and Baby Yoda.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Silver Boba Fett. But everyone knows what it is. So I think
out of all the series,
Yeah.
this
yeah.
one has the most.
This
like,
is the
star
one that's like
power.
someone's like, oh, I remember I watched
Yeah.
season 1 of that. That was pretty good. There's a movie now. Okay. And then they're gonna
Yeah, that's true.
They'll give you maybe an opening crawl or just like, some lines to set up, kind of like they did with the Ahsoka show. And then you're like,
Yep.
you don't have to remember like, oh, Jack Black was in an episode. Oh, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff doesn't even matter. It's just like, okay, we're doing this now.
Would it be that bad if the first 10 minutes are kind of like any important
Previously.
information? No, not like that, but like, you know how like Ahsoka, like the first episode was kind of just like recap of stuff that you were already available to
Yeah.
see from the series,
Right.
like from Clone Wars or Rebels.
Rebels.
It's like, couldn't they just do a little bit of like
Well, and I feel like
overlap just to get people? I
Up
think
to
this,
speed.
this has to work by itself though. I don't like. I think they can make a mission where
Yeah.
it's like a big mission.
you should
where
be able
it
to
can
watch
stand on
the
its own.
movie without
Yeah.
knowing what happened before.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys, and I also think we've gotten to a point where we treat. Maybe it's because there's been so many Marvel movies. Just kidding.
Okay, yeah.
But we treat the audience like idiots. Like back in the day when
Yeah.
A New Hope came out or Episode 4 came out, and you have the opening crawl, you have no idea what the universe is about. They just kind of tell you. It's the same thing that happened with the prequels.
Here's the minimum
You
information
would kind of
you
be
need to
like,
see.
hey, this is kind of what's going on, Episode 1. Okay, I don't know what the Trade Federation is. I don't know what
Yeah.
Naboo is,
Yeah.
but I'm okay. Between every movie, things would happen, and they just kind of like catch you up to be like, hey, this kind of happened off screen. This is what's going on. Princess Amidala there's been an
There's been
assassination
Is that a ship name? The SS Assassin?
There's been some assassination attempts on her, and you've never seen
You're
that.
like, all right.
So I feel like that's the same thing. It needs to start with an opening crawl, and I know they've been trying to get away from that with movies that weren't part of the sequels or part of that official episode canon, because like it needs to be differentiated. But I'm like, no, you have to bring the crawl back.
Yeah.
They did it with Ahsoka, which I thought was good. A good way to even be like, hey, this is kind of what's going on. So I think as long as you have that to kind of explain like, hey,
They had a red crawl, right?
See, but they say they've moved away from a crawl, but they really haven't, because they've had it, and they had one in Rogue One. It was similar.
Did they have it in Solo?
Did they not? They had one in Solo,
They had it in Solo, right?
but it wasn't the exact same.
yeah,
it wasn't-
no, but it
it
wasn't
wasn't
a
the
crawl. It was like
crawl.
a long time ago. Guys, far forward, it was like the universe is something with bounty hunt. Like
Yeah, but just like with Ahsoka, it's not like the traditional Star Wars
Right.
crawl.
with the fanfare. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I
But
think
they need something like
Rogue
that.
One and Solo are the only ones without the opening crawl.
okay, but they didn't have text at all.
Don't know.
I thought Solo did. Anyway, movie's trash anyway because it doesn't have a crawl.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. I just think as long as they do that, as far as what are you guys thinking? Let's just look at what we've got on the table here. So I would
Han
assume
Solo, Luke for sure.
I would assume, I'm talking about release dates, but I'm assuming Favreau's.
Classic.
We'll talk about that as it gets closer. Our predictions.
of course.
Luke's obviously showing up, but
Oh, yeah.
as far as the movie's release, I would assume the first one that's going to come is this Mando and Grogu movie.
Yeah,
I'm thinking 2025 December, like Christmas time, 2025.
Yeah, that'd be
you
good.
think so?
I think so.
That'd be cool.
And then the next year,
oh, do you?
26 I would assume is going to be the Rey movie.
2026.
2026.
Didn't they? Oh, yeah.
They haven't announced anything about, I mean, there's some rumors. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But then I think the one after that is going to be the Filoni one. So 2027. And now, if they fit in the Taika Waititi, which I hope they're not doing,
Taika Waititi.
but that might go in 27
Waititi.
and then Filoni 28. But I just think that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to be Favreau, the Rey
I thought
movie.
the Taika one was 5 years out.
Yeah, he said it was like
5.
Yeah,
I
but
remember
I'm
5
hoping they
for
don't. I'm hoping they.
he
just
was
don't.
like, "Oh, I'm working on 4 other projects before that."
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. So we kind of did the math.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a movie a year.
But
Okay.
what do you guys think as far as like that kind of stuff
What?
with the release? Like, do you guys think that's plausible,
It sounds awesome.
or do you guys have a different order of movies?
No, I think your order makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know about timing. I think December probably does make sense because you want to have like, oh, maybe you release
Classic.
the season around May. You know what I mean? That's when you release the first part of season 4.
That would be nice.
And then you have a gap, and then at the end of the year in December is when you're gonna have the movie. But I could see it in that year, either December or maybe even you do it in the summer, move it up. But I just the series relationship with the movie, because it's supposed to be tied. That's what I don't know about.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I think as far as like that one first, then the Rey movie, and then the Filoni one, I think that makes sense as far as order goes.
I think it's in their best interest to try to fit it in the same year. I don't know if they can do it. They probably can.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in the best interest to do it so it's fresh in people's minds.
And again,
you don't
we-
want to have a whole year break. That'd be bad.
Yeah, and again, we don't know
Yeah.
about the whole season thing. Like that's just been a rumor that they're saying.
really?
Yeah, it
That's
hasn't been
100%
confirmed.
rumor?
At first, when the movie news came out, people were saying no, it's replacing Mando season 4, and then people were like, no, I've heard that they're actually still doing Mando season 4, but
Okay.
it's going to be smaller.
Up
So
in the air.
we still don't know. That rumor, that story came from Making Star Wars,
Okay.
who has gotten a
They're
lot of
pretty
stuff.
Good. Yeah.
He's the one that said that they're actually 6-episode season 4 before the movie. Let's go move on to the Rey movie. There's been a lot of talk
Yeah.
I'm upset.
about
There's
that.
a lot.
I'm already upset just mentioning the Rey
Bro,
movie.
The amount of drama around this movie
so-
is crazy.
We'll just recap real quick. The director came out. They announced who the director was. I don't know her name off the top of my head, but all she's really done has been documentaries. And so when they announced her comments that she came out with were basically, it's about time that a woman gets to run Star Wars or form the next story in Star Wars. A lot of people got upset about that. I'll give my own reasons why I think that's silly. And then, so the internet went crazy with back and forth, depending on what side you're on, complaining about it. And then there were rumors that her movie had been delayed. That came out a couple days ago. And then Lucasfilm came out and said, no, it's not delayed. Still working on it. So there's just been like a lot of back and forth with that kind of stuff. My biggest issue with her comments is if she thinks that now it's about time a woman's being able to guide Star Wars, then she's not a Star Wars fan. Because Kathleen Kennedy's been in charge of Star
She's
Wars.
Been ruining Star Wars for years. I'm
saying, just in reality, Kathleen Kennedy's been in charge of Star Wars since it was sold.
That's kind of like a slap in the face to Kathleen Kennedy, honestly.
Yes.
Dude, she's been helming it up for how long?
Yeah.
Like
not only that, but
years?
let's look at this. The Mandalorian. We got Bryce Dallas Howard that's been directing episodes. We got Deborah Chow that's directed some of the best Mando episodes. She did all of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
There's Kiri Hart, who's been
she's one of the executives
at Disney.
Wow.
There's been women right now. I can't remember her name, but there's a woman that's equal with Dave Filoni, and they're co-create. Like,
oh, really?
So to me, I'm kind of like, I feel
weird.
like that's just a comment you say when you don't understand what's been going on, and like you said, it's a slap in the face to the women that have been working in Star Wars for decades. And so to me, for once, I just want a director to come out when I don't care what color you are, what gender you are, whatever it is, that just comes out and says, hey, I'm really excited about directing Star Wars. I'm going to make a movie that the fans are going to love. I'm so excited. I love this story and I can't wait to get to work on this. That's it. That'll be awesome. You don't have to come out and be like, it's about time they got a woman here. It's about time they've got whatever. It's just silly, and it just makes people talk about the wrong thing. Instead of people talking about Rey Skywalker coming back into a Star Wars movie, everyone's talking about her comments. And I just think it's someone that's obviously not a Star Wars fan if you don't know that women have been running Star Wars for the last 15 years.
Weird.
So it's just weird to me. But what do you guys think of the comments and the whole Rey movie stuff? Yeah.
So the director's name is Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. So she's mostly directed documentaries. She did some episodes of Miss Marvel for Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
She hasn't done a movie though.
No,
this
she
will
hasn't
be
done a
her
movie.
first.
Yeah. So she has directing experience, but not for a movie, as far as outside of a documentary. I agree. It's one of those things that's unfortunate. It's like, not only are you just kind of like throwing gasoline on the fire on a fire that hadn't even started yet. You know what I mean? You're just like preemptively, you're like, let me start with my foot in my mouth. And like, I'm trying to think of more metaphors. Let's stir up the hornet's nest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even before you're getting the internet all in a frenzy because of what you're saying. And then what you said is right. It's like, it's a slap in the face to all the other women that have directed Star Wars shows. Kathleen Kennedy, who's been running Star Wars. It's like, it's a slap in the face to them. And then also it's like, you're kind of like, you're trying to champion this whole thing of like equality, but you're kind of undercutting yourself because you're speaking from a position where you have no clue. You know what I mean? Like, inequality is a real thing, but the fact that you're like coming into a situation where you're like, things have been pretty equal in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, out of all the...
I mean, no one's directing, or no women have directed a movie.
Right.
So she's not...
Right.
Well, she's definitely wrong, but like, there's a little bit of something there, but not enough to like make this huge statement.
Right. I
mean, especially when you also think the fact, like, I went back just thinking when I heard the comments and I saw a lot of people getting upset. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. Like, let's think about it. We've had the 3 movies that have come out in the proper like episode numbers, right? So 7, 8, and 9. Rey was the lead, a woman, right? Then we got Rogue One, which was Jyn Erso, another woman. We've got Ahsoka, who is like one of like
also a woman.
She's one of the best characters in Star Wars. She's got a series. She's in Tales of the Jedi. She's in the Clone Wars. Like, it's not that it's just
Sabine's also a main character in that show.
Like the amount of women in Star Wars. Even we can talk about Mando for a second. Bo-Katan comes in, and she kind of took over season 3. So I just feel like
in Solo, the girl,
Yeah.
she was one of the more interesting
Kira.
characters.
yeah, Kira.
Yeah, Kira.
So I just feel like this idea. Now I know, like you're saying, a woman hasn't directed a movie, but we've gotten like again one of the biggest series that everyone was excited for. Obi-Wan was given to a woman, Deborah Chow, based on what she had done with her Mando stuff. So I just feel like, and Bryce Dallas Howard has done some amazing episodes and gotten to do more and more. So there's this whole idea that I just think it's disingenuous. Like you say, it just starts, you get people focusing on the wrong thing. Instead of people getting excited for Rey and her movie, you're having people talk about something else. And I also think, like you said, it's a slap in the face even to Daisy Ridley, who she played this character in 3 movies. And I think she's awesome. I know there's people that don't like her. I think she's great. I love her character. I think her Rey's theme is one of the best Star Wars songs ever. Like,
Made about
I
a goat.
have
She
her.
was. She made it
Her
herself.
lightsaber is awesome. I own it. Like, I'm excited for the Rey movie, and I just feel like even those comments are like, well, it's about, now I'm here. It's about time. It's like, yeah, well, Rey was here before you, and her performance was great, and people love that character. So it just seems like it's starting on the wrong foot.
What else were you gonna say? Sorry, we like massively cut you off.
Yeah, I
Was
don't know
there
if that
anything else?
jerks, dude. I was going to say a really important thing. No, I was basically just saying, like, if you could have a gripe about Star Wars, I don't think representation's an issue. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm crazy, but like the fact that you would just come out and say that and be like,
I'm gonna be honest. It feels more like I want to shock people. I'm gonna say something just offhandedly.
Yeah.
Like, I just want, like the same with, I can't remember what his name was. He was like, I want to subvert everyone's expectations. So I'm just gonna do, what was his name?
Rian Johnson.
Your favorite? Yeah. Your favorite
Well, it's
guy.
just the same thing Taika Waititi
not the
said.
same. It's more like Taika Waititi.
When he's
Yeah,
like,
it's more that.
what can you tell us
version.
about
Yeah.
your Star Wars movie? Well, I'm going to make a lot of people angry. Then don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, why?
And she said something like, "I'm going to make men uncomfortable."
So that was years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
That
okay.
was when she was
Okay.
doing one of her documentaries.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with Star
Oh,
Wars.
Wow. So someone took that out.
so,
of,
Yeah.
so that's the one,
Context.
that's the
That's one of the
thing-
things that you're like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So people have been pissed off
I
about it because
see.
they're like,
Okay.
what? You're going to make me, she said, I want men to feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
And
But
that
they attribute, they didn't
They
say
think it's
what
in
it
the
was
same
for,
quote,
and they
but
think
it's
it's in
not.
the same quote.
that's stupid.
And
Okay.
what the,
All right.
it's about a movie about a woman. It's a documentary about a woman that got attacked in Pakistan, got acid poured on her.
It's about the
You know?
Taliban.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
One of
you're
her
like,
documentaries.
Gotcha.
so you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes
you wouldn't
sense.
want people to feel
The
uncomfortable
Taliban,
about
yeah.
that. You want men to feel uncomfortable like watching this or like
Yeah.
a travesty, like injustice. But the fact that that's the thing that sucks about the internet is that people with an agenda that are like, the Rey movie is going to suck already.
Yeah.
And
Look what she said, and they
doesn't-
don't tell you when she
What
said
else
it.
Right.
can we pile
Yeah.
on here? Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
problem, and
Well,
that's
hey.
why those comments make, like, instead of, I guarantee you, if she, instead of going the route of being like, finally a woman's in charge of guiding a Star Wars story, if she would have done the opposite or just said, I'm really excited for this. I love the Rey's character. I'm excited for me to kind of put my imprint on Star Wars. Like, that's totally fine.
Like, I'm so excited to join the ranks of Kathleen Kennedy, Daisy
Yeah.
Ridley, all these amazing women who have run, who have been a part of Star
and
Wars.
so if she
That's
says
cool.
something like that she's excited for something, then you kind of steal the thunder of people that are just waiting for you to say something and just pile on.
Yeah.
Right. There's going to be people that are going to find something anyways.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you're coupling that with other comments, and then it just makes it. I was like,
Yeah.
same thing with Taika Waititi. Tell me why you're excited to make a Star Wars movie to get me excited. Don't tell me that you're going to make people angry because I'm going to make people upset. It's like,
Well, based on what he said, was it him who was like, "Yo, I just did this movie for money"?
Yeah, about the Marvel
Yeah.
movies.
So
Thor.
people like
He
that.
dated Thor.
Yeah. So when he said something like that, now I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
just doing a Star Wars movie to make money.
Yeah.
And it's like, that doesn't make me excited to support your movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Interesting. I guess they're rich anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Here's
They can
the
just say
thing.
whatever they want.
So I know everything doesn't have to lead to James Gunn, but in this
if it did, gosh, I'm
in
outta
this
here.
context, it's kind of similar. Well, James Gunn came out with some quotes saying superhero movies. He's like, superheroes comics are dumb. They're stupid. He's like, so it's just silly material. So that's why with my movies, he's like, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And so to me, it's kind of like, well, people care about these characters. Like whether or not you think
I
comic
love
books are
Conjuring, too.
silly or not, but I'm like, people relate to Batman. People love these characters and people have grown up with these characters. So there's a lot of love for these characters. When you kind of dismiss it the same way Taika Waititi was like, Thor's the worst character ever. His comic books was the ones I just laugh at. They're so dumb. I was like, when you have that view of characters, it just makes your movies kind of be like, they're just jokes anyways. I can
think-
make every character a goofball and jokey and silly because it's dumb entertainment. And I just feel like if you contrast that with Zack Snyder has a quote where he says, we would always make sure to have fun, never make fun. He's like, these characters, you don't make fun of the characters because you want to have fun with these characters and build them up. So that to be the opposite, to be like James Gunn, Taika Waititi, it's like, hey, let's just make these guys a joke because they're silly anyways. That's not, there's character,
Yeah.
people love these characters.
we
and
definitely
there
agree on
should
that.
be respect for certain
So
characters.
we're not saying she's like that.
No.
We're just saying those two dudes are
Yes.
they're relatable for sure. They've got some similarities. And I can't remember her name. What was her name again? Sorry, you have it.
I had
You
it.
had
I had
it.
it up.
Anyway,
Charmin Obey
Charmin.
Chinoy.
Charmin. I think
Cha-cha-cha,
Charmin could make an awesome
Charmin.
movie, and I'm super stoked for it. And
Yeah.
I hope people can be open to it, because I think there's some potential there.
Yeah, and I think she
I love Ray. I love Ray too.
Yeah.
I think she could be a really interesting character.
and she can bring a different like perspective,
Yeah.
like coming from a world of maybe it's going to be a documentary about Ray.
My
Hey.
life
Like The Office.
after whatever.
Well, Daisy Ridley did say it was like a completely different take on Star Wars. So
Yeah.
you're right. It might be like shaky cam. Like, what's your name? My name is Ray Skywalker. Is that really your
Is that
name?
your real name? No.
Okay, it's Ray
I don't want to talk
Palpatine.
about it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
And that one is 2 years? No.
we don't know.
Rumored 2 to 3 years?
Yeah.
No, we don't know.
So
I mean, they said the script's done, right?
Yeah, the fact that Daisy was like,
no,
oh, it's
they
a different
said
type
they're
of movie.
still waiting on
Then how would
the
Daisy know?
the second draft.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So apparently they gave what's his name?
Is it Knight?
Knight, yeah.
Even Knight?
So he's writing it, and when the rumors came out, they said Disney didn't like it, and so they gave it back to him, and that he was probably going to leave, but now they said no. So they're just waiting on his second draft.
Okay.
Is what's going on.
The worst thing that could ever happen in this situation is, we get like a year out and they're like, we fired the director. J.J. Abrams is coming back, baby.
Yeah, dude.
You've been clamoring.
James Gunn,
This is
get in
insane.
here.
This is insanity.
What?
Okay. So speaking of J.J. Abrams, hey, we said this episode was going to go crazy places.
Yeah.
We're just following some rabbit trails,
Yeah.
some bad robot trails. WB years ago had given him a first look,
Yeah.
$250 million. He made 0 movies for Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Amazing.
They paid the man $250 to be like, hey, make some stuff for us. And he made nothing. He didn't do anything.
yeah.
What a con man.
Pretty crazy.
So he must have made stuff
He
to get
he
by
pitched
through his
ideas.
contract.
He pitched
and they were probably
ideas.
Terrible.
He did.
Michael B. Jordan was going to be the Jor-El? No.
No, that I don't know if that was him. Was it him?
There was one. So I
what?
think there was two at the same time, or around the same time, and one of them was J.J. Abrams.
So he was going to be
yeah.
Black Superman. Was the one that J.J. was doing.
Okay.
He also did Justice League Dark. He was going to do Justice
Yes.
League Dark. But still, you pay a dude $250 million to be like, hey, make us some shows.
That's pretty
and
amazing.
he hasn't done anything.
That's awesome.
And now he signed like another deal with another studio, like Netflix or something. That now he's going to be doing that. I'm like, WB. No wonder you guys
They're dumb. He's smart. That's what I get from that.
like nothing.
Bro,
not
that's
even a
awesome.
show. I guess he was part of the Cape Crusader, right?
Oh, yeah,
That
he
with Matt
produced.
Reeves, which that got sold to Amazon Prime, so we're gonna get to see that.
Oh, interesting.
But I'm like, WB, you guys are stupid. You guys got rid of Snyder. You guys lost Nolan. You guys
done
paid
messed
J.J.
up.
Abrams $250 million to do nothing. No wonder you guys went broke and had to sell to Discovery. I mean, come on.
The vitriol. Oof.
Ooh, J.J. Abrams. And stay away
Why are you
from
getting
Star
mad at
Wars.
J.J.
Don't be mad at
Abrams,
him,
I'm
bro?
just
It's not
saying.
his fault.
Smart.
I'm just saying.
I would do the same thing, bro. I'd throw. You'd probably do the same thing too. You'd say,
Well, yeah,
you'd do
but
all these crazy ideas.
if I-
And they'd be like, no. It's WB's fault.
Like, so Han Solo shows up.
We're talking about Batman here. You're like, I know.
Yeah.
Hear me
Harrison Ford as an old Batman.
out. That's crazy. What a sly dog.
It's absolutely insane.
Is there any more Star Wars news?
I think that was it.
Really?
People are waiting. People keep expecting the Bad Batch trailer to drop.
Or the Acolyte.
Or the Acolyte. But what I've
Really?
seen all
Do
over
people actually
Twitter
say
is
that,
like,
man?
or X is people saying the Bad Batch, because like people in I didn't know this, but Star Wars is not on X anymore.
Oh, Disney.
Disney and
it's
Star
Disney.
Wars, they don't.
Well, because freaking
Yeah, they were
Elon
they were,
trash
they were
talked
beefing
him.
with Elon.
So I was wondering, I was like, I've never seen any like Star Wars announcements or Disney
yeah.
announcements. It's all, and I was like, oh, that's why. But yeah. So
It's pretty funny.
we can move on to some, there's some random video game stuff.
What? Yeah. What? I'm blanking. What was it?
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about was we had the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which is the game that's been delayed
That's
for
coming
a
out-
long time. Comes out
tomorrow.
tomorrow. I'm not getting it.
I know a lot of streamers who are going to be paid to play it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why are we not paid to play it?
I know. Come on.
It's a shame. But I was so there's a lot of people that are complaining about this game, that it sucks, whatever. I saw the first 26 minutes of gameplay that IGN put up.
Okay.
And they also gave a little review. Their review wasn't good, but one of the things that
What did
just
they give it?
I think they gave it a 5. I'm not really sure.
That's low for IGN.
But it could have been a 6 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But the person reviewing it was like, this game is not any good. But some of the complaints he had, I was just like, these are silly complaints. And I think IGN misses the mark a lot. One of the complaints was you, as the Suicide Squad, you're doing terrible things, and that's not cool. And I was like, that you're the Suicide Squad. Like that.
Right.
What do you think?
That's the whole point.
And so it was. He's like, yeah, but you're going after people that are innocent, or you're doing all this other stuff, or you're. And I was like, well, don't people love GTA games? Like, don't you do like I thought of Red Dead Redemption? Like the amount of people that would hog tie somebody and put them on
them on
train
train
tracks.
tracks.
Like I was like,
Throw 'em
that's
to the
what you
crocodiles.
did with Red Dead
Terrible.
Redemption,
Yeah.
right? And you had the cops chasing after you in Red Dead Redemption. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
So to hold that as a negative was interesting. And the other thing they were like, when you're in the boss fight against the Flash, he's just moving around so quickly you can't get any shots off. And I was like, he's like, and it's not a cool thing. It just makes it very annoying. And I was like, well, it's a boss fight and he's the Flash. What's he supposed to do? Like not move around? Like you're supposed to figure out a way to beat him. So it was just that kind of stuff that I was like, what are your real complaints here? If they're not, I don't know. It just drove me nuts to be like, the complaints, are you just trying to find stuff to be upset about because you know that a lot of people are already upset with this game? So anyways, we'll see. I don't think it's going to be as bad as it seems like a lot of people are making this out to be a terrible game. And we've seen it with other things, Rings of Power, all this kind of stuff. There seems to be already like a chorus of like, this game sucks, it's stupid. We should have gotten a Superman game, but they gave us the Suicide Squad game.
You've been leading this chorus.
And I know.
Yeah.
No.
You're the lead choir boy.
Yeah.
No, actually I haven't. But that was just interesting to me to be like, if you're going to complain about that kind of stuff, it's like, what's the Flash supposed to do? He's the Flash.
He's slow.
So
let me shoot him.
I think he's more aiming. I just looked it up. I think he's more aiming at the fact that he didn't feel like he had control over the fight. Instead, he was just waiting for the Flash to then get to a point where he was shootable, and that doesn't feel great. And I understand that. It's like he's the Flash, you can't shoot him, but like I get it. It feels very staged and very like you're in a movie, play the movie, kind of a thing. I understand where he's coming from, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I don't think the game's going to be very good, so I don't think this is going to be far off.
Yeah.
But that's just because of the stuff that I've seen.
The thing that did make me realize it's probably not going to be that good is in the first like 10 seconds of the playthrough, or the first they're going around and you hear stupid Riddler. The Riddler from the Arkham games being like, you can't see me, but I am there. And I'm like, they have Riddler trophies in this too? No, that's the worst part of the Arkham games.
Yep.
And that's what they brought over.
Yep.
Interesting. Same universe.
That's crazy.
Well, it's supposed to be a live service game. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they said that kind of once you beat the main story, there's kind of not much to do / tedious stuff. So I don't know. When you do live service, man, it's kind of it's tough. You got to keep people entertained. How do you do that? You have to have a lot of content drops often to keep people engaged. So, yeah, I bet this will get like a 6.5 or something on IGN or something like that.
Yeah, probably. And I don't
think he actually.
And I don't think it like for me, just watching it, I was like, this will give me a headache.
That too.
It's just crazy.
It also looks kind of janky too, like the movement. I don't know. Like some of the moves are cool, but like, I don't know. Yeah.
It's like they tried to get.
I'll watch it tomorrow.
It's like they tried to get the Arkham feel of like flowing through, but they're like, how do we get these characters that don't have way of grappling to like be able to go fast? And it's like, oh, let's give them
get a
like
rocket boost.
Yeah, rocket
whatever.
boost,
Yeah.
or this guy can go through wall. It's just a weird. It's Well, anyways, what was the other? There's some more gaming stuff.
I just know that I remember the thing from Ubisoft where they're.
Bring it up.
I mean, yeah, if you can think of any other ones, but yeah, I don't know if it was the CEO or whoever, some big guy at Ubisoft was like, had a quote saying, players need to get more comfortable with not owning the games they pay for. So, and they're referencing, I think, to cloud-based games / everything's going to be moving towards cloud-based gaming to where you're not actually physically owning the disc or whatever. And, take that out of just take that. And I think a lot of people, that pisses them off a lot.
Yeah.
Because when you buy something, you should own it. It's not like you're paying for a Netflix subscription that you're paying for the use for 30 days or whatever. You're paying for a game. So I think he needs to be careful about how he talks, because that's enough to make me like, well, I'm going to be watching you, Ubisoft, if you do this for like a whatever game. Like, I'm not going to buy the game, quote unquote. I don't know. It's kind of dumb. I think people are people are up in arms about it. A lot of negative responses.
Didn't people already lose access to a specific Assassin's Creed game, I think?
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I think that happened. I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was one of those that was only sold physically or digitally.
Uh-huh.
And then they stopped supporting it, so people lost access to it.
That's so weird.
Well, I think that's to me, that's one of the big reasons. I'm like, nowadays you're paying $70 to $80 for a game, right?
$70.
And so it seems to go up every year, like, or at least when a new console comes out, it's like now games are more expensive. And so to me, that's the aspect of like, if I'm investing money into a physical game, like I want to own that game, and I don't want it to be like at some point, like, oh, this game isn't supported anymore. You can't play it anymore because we've stopped doing it on our end. It's like, no, I want to still go back and play that. It's like people that collect consoles, right? You have a 64 and you put Smash Bros in or Ocarina of Time. Like, it's not, and to me, it's just like, you can't, and I understand like moving on with the industry and technology. So there's way more abilities like Steam Deck and all this kind of other stuff. Was like play any game you want, do a subscription, you know, that's different to me. And I understand that, but to totally be like, hey, you just gotta be comfortable with not owning a game you're buying. I'm like, no, because the thing that ends up happening is people always want more money. And we see this in movies. We see this with everything. And so you get to a point where it's like, hey, it's not cost effective for us to keep allowing these people to play this game because we want to work on this new one. So, whatever. They'll end up buying this new game. So I just feel like that's where it tends to go, is people make decisions based on profit.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's like, I want to have something that I can play anytime I want, especially if I'm investing money into it.
What if I said, okay, let's make a compromise. You pay me $20 more for the physical, but you can get it digitally for 60. Let's say physical is 80, digital is 60. How would you feel about that?
I think that's also stupid.
Because you're talking about costs, right? And profit. It does.
Well,
cost.
it's more to print. It's more to make the
physical,
plastic or whatever and the case and everything.
Shipping.
Yeah.
Shipping and keeping inventory is probably the most expensive part of that.
I mean, you do it with movies, though.
Yeah, I mean, I buy. Well, yeah, but the difference with that is the digital versus. Actually, are they that much different? If I buy the 4K version on digital, it's usually the same price, isn't it?
It's not. They're like $15. So it's like double. So like you're paying 30 for a 4K.
Yeah, but the difference is steelbooks. I'm buying steelbooks.
No, but you're buying steelbooks, but in general, you don't buy a movie digitally.
Not usually.
Because you want to have it physically. So you're in this situation, you're paying extra for the physical copy. So it would be the same. And I buy all my video games physically. Like I don't buy anything digital. Very rarely is the situation where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a digital because I just like having my games.
Yeah, and you guys are console players, and so that makes sense.
Yeah,
because you have a console that you put the thing in and you do it. I strictly am only digital. I can't remember the last time I bought a physical movie or game. Yeah. So it's different. I think it depends on
Smash Bros.
I think it depends on the game. So, for instance, Fortnite. Okay, Fortnite doesn't have a story game.
Yeah,
it has online multiplayer. Everything's online. It's all live service. They have custom games. They have custom maps. Blah blah blah. But if they went out of business tomorrow and the server shut down, all your skins, whatever you have in that game, is gone. Dunzo. But it's a free-to-play game. But think about if you had to play a subscription for that. Or, I mean, you have owned digital items in that game.
Yeah.
You have a risk when you play a game like that. And so, Call of Duty, for instance, I own Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2 from back in the day, early 2000s. I own that game. I also have it digitally. I can't play that game against people because no one's playing that game currently because it would technically have to be, I'd have to have enough people to play against. I can play the story mode though.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, which I've never done, but you could.
Why would you?
who does?
But I think it depends on the game. So when Ubisoft's talking about, oh yeah, you need to be used to not owning it. I'm used to not owning Fortnite.
Yeah,
I'm used to not owning subscription-based games and playing online with my friends or whatever, like League of Legends, or that's not even a subscription, that's free to play. But I don't know. I think it'll depend on the game.
Yeah,
Like that's the biggest thing.
Like if Nintendo was to come out and be like, "Hey, the new Zelda game
It's
only digital," I'd be like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I think there's totally a difference between, or like even like WoW or Diablo is different than like one of those, like
Candy Crush.
Any game that has an offline mode needs to be physical.
yes,
And that's just how it is. Because if you wanted to play it by yourself, you need to be able to do that. And if the company goes out of business tomorrow, you need to be able to still play it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I agree.
It depends on the game, but I would also say that, they're looking at prices and costs. So
Yeah,
get ready for them to squeeze as much money as they can.
and it seems like Best Buy's not doing physical media anymore.
It looks so weird,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
They did it. They did it years ago with they're not selling music anymore.
Yeah, no more CDs.
They kept movies,
They
and then
kept
now
movies, right? Yeah,
they kept movies, and then they're done. So
I mean, CDs make sense.
yeah, and so now that to me is because I get steelbooks. So apparently Walmart and Target are getting the steelbooks now. So I'm like, okay, well at least there's someone that's still.
Yeah,
But Nolan made a joke about that. He's like, because Oppenheimer sold a ton of physical copies, and he was like, "This is what you want." He's like, "This is what you got to do. Get the physical so that you have your copy, and a streaming service can't take it away from you eventually."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's true. Wish I would have gotten that steelbook."
yeah. Why didn't you?
When I tried to pre-order it, it was already out, and then normally what they do is they'll put out all the pre-orders,
Right.
and then they'll have a second wave. But when I went to the Best Buy, the guy's like, "We're not getting a second wave because we're done with
The timing
with
was
physical."
bad.
So he's like, "We already did everything." He's like, "Normally in January we'll have another round come in."
And they
He's like,
didn't.
"But we got our last truck of
And they all
physical media
sold
that was
out?
all
Wow,
steel
that's
books."
crazy.
That sucks.
I know. So now the steel book's going like $150.
No way.
Online. Yeah.
That could have been you. It's the one time where it would have paid off.
No, I wouldn't have sold it.
No, but I'm saying like the value skyrocketed. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Is there was there anything else? Or are we gonna move on to?
It had to have been something else. Gosh dang. But
There was Rings of Power rumors.
Oh yeah,
if you
hit
guys
us
wanna
with
talk about.
Rings of Power season 2, Amazon Prime.
okay.
Bezos
Okay,
bringing
okay,
us
okay.
the ring.
So, most people
He
are.
looks like Buff Gollum.
He does look like Buff Gollum.
Swole
On his yacht.
Smeagol.
Smeagol. That's good. That's good.
So I saw this on YouTube. So most people are like,
Okay.
I think it's from the One Ring, but I saw Nerd of the Rings was talking about it. And we've already talked about this before.
Okay.
Anything that comes out about Rings of Power is like, the intention for it is like, let's dunk on it.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
this sucks.
Yeah.
So-
nothing positive coming out about it.
They
That's
had a
true.
list of a bunch of like rumors for season 2. I'll skip the ones that are like plot related.
Sure.
Yeah, because there's like reveals, you know what I'm saying? But I'll talk.
can talk about it
I'll talk
closer.
about a couple of them.
All right.
So they have
Joe, listen.
new rights to material from the Silmarillion.
Really?
Nice.
Additional.
Additional.
Wow.
Nice.
They said Simon Tolkien, which is like a great nephew or whatever of Tolkien,
Needs some money.
is
He needs some money.
involved.
Simon coming in the clutch. That's what I like, baby. Take that, Christopher
Simon.
Tolkien. Simon. He's here to
Simon
stay,
needs
baby.
Some money, baby.
so he's
Sure,
helping
man.
out or whatever.
Do whatever you want, bro.
Yeah.
How much money will you give me?
How many yachts do I get?
So you're telling me you'll give me $100,000 just to say, yeah, sure. That sounds like
Sign the
something my
paper.
great
Grandfather would be proud.
What's his name? Colin?
Simon.
Simon. Just sign. Simon.
So this is what we already talked about a little bit, that the main story is based on Sauron.
Yeah.
Like Sauron's
Yeah.
the main character. There's apparently going to be 3 different actors playing him for the
Okay.
season.
Yeah,
So we're going to
okay,
get
that's a little-
different versions
Yeah,
of him.
So we're gonna get
We're gonna get a
him
little bit
deceiving
spoilery.
the
Yes.
elves.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's
Nice.
Yeah, we
That's what they're saying. They're saying we'll probably episode 1 will get the creation story
Nice.
from
Okay.
the Silmarillion. Okay, so that's some of the other ones are like plot specific.
You
We'll
can tell
avoid
us.
it.
Yeah,
No. We'll avoid it. Some of the crazier ones. So Gandalf will be in the creation story. So that's
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
So he's not Meteor Man then.
So he's not
so
already
no,
in.
they're saying he's Meteor Man.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, we kind of knew that at the end of the season 1, it was like kind of implied. So according to this, they're saying
So they brought him in
who knows?
early, right? That's what.
What do you mean?
Wait.
Well, I'm saying it's confirmed then that because Gandalf doesn't come out.
Oh.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
if he
so
is
if that's
they're
Gandalf's
saying
Rings of
Technical
Power
canon.
brought him
Right.
in
before
earlier.
the time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Hate this place.
Yeah. Okay, so this is one of the ones that I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Apparently, Sauron has a son.
What?
And he, so Sauron has a son.
Who's saying this again?
So this is just a bunch of rumors that came out.
But are they like, are they consistent with other people's rumors? Like, are they being like kind of verified by like people are spreading the same rumors, or are they different?
This is a bunch of that came up on the internet. So it's like,
it's probably
iffy.
like some are good and some are not.
Right. Some are hit or miss.
But you know what I mean, right? Like,
who's verifying?
It's coming from the ring.
Says it and the other guy says it, and they said the same one. Maybe there's some.
It comes from a site that's been right before.
Oh, okay,
about other stuff.
It's kind of like making Star Wars a little bit.
okay.
They've been right and then they've been wrong. And then when they're wrong, they're like, well, they changed it.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so this is one where they're like, Tom Bombadil and Goldberry are going to be in an episode.
Okay.
And you're like, okay.
So like The Last of
that
Us
makes
with the
sense.
two characters.
Yeah, there you go. and then the next rumor is Tom Bombadil is Melkor, who's the bad guy.
Melkor?
They're saying that he's being punished. That's how he's in Tom Bombadil form, and he's living on Earth as his punishment. You're like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
So that's like the craziest it gets.
Super crazy.
That's the craziest it gets. So it's like
Melkor is.
Tom Bombadil.
No.
So that's like that was like the one where you're like, okay, that's kind of
What is he like? Forced to be all happy and like.
Yeah,
crazy?
exactly.
And wear those yellow boots.
And then just another thing is like, episode 6 and 7 is a big battle.
Okay.
Siege type of stuff.
Whatever.
There's like
I'm down.
specific rumor, like plot ones that I'm avoiding, but
Do we know what date when this comes out?
no, still don't know.
This
anything.
year, probably.
Yeah.
I hope this season's
year.
good, man.
I imagine it'll be the same as last year. We get a preview for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's what I would
That
say.
would make sense.
That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. Man, that the thing that doesn't leave me from that first season, the visuals.
Yeah.
It was so good looking. It was crazy.
Yeah. I got to rewatch
That's
it.
about it.
Yeah.
I got to rewatch
it.
it.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I got halfway through for rewatch and then
They
I
just
was doing
couldn't
something
do
else. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't stand it.
Hey, we're Rings of Power fans here.
Yeah, yeah.
Against all.
I'm like a 7.5.
That's still a
good.
fan. That's
Yeah,
still a fan.
I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah.
But I'm not like a diehard.
Well,
like,
no,
yeah,
but
no.
like there
Like, I love it.
there
I love
hardly
it, like-
are no diehards
Yeah.
out there. It's mostly like
Right.
there's haters
True.
and then people that are like, that was good.
Yeah.
For what it was
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
entertaining. Yeah.
And as far as the rumors go, I mean,
That's
I feel like half of them are wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they're just people putting it out there to be like, let's see how pissed off.
Yeah.
People. But listen,
Sauron has a son.
exactly.
That's
if that would happen, I'd be like, what? That's crazy.
Well, that's
That
the thing
is
too.
wild.
I think that's crazy, but I kind of want to see like
Sauron.
no
Sauron Jr. I
Sauron
want to
doing
see like Grogu, but in like his black armor that he had in the last battle,
it. Exactly.
but a little baby one. Like,
No, but if something like that were to happen, I'd want to let them explain it.
I'd make
Does that make sense?
Right.
Before
So-
I'm like, this is
Ooh.
stupid.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
On paper, everything looks stupid.
Yes.
Right. So if they have a good reason, or maybe it's if it's not like, it's not actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
You give them the benefit of the
He
doubt.
makes an orc son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
It's not
adopted-
really a
he
son, but he
adopted-
just calls
he
him
adopted
son.
him.
they see there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
works better.
When he's going back, he
And
like
forges him the
kicks a stone. He's like, they found me out. He kicks a stone and he hits some kid that's been abandoned there, and he's like, oh, I'll take you in.
Yeah.
Oh, where did
I'm
you
in.
get these
Sauron
skills
Jr.
for writing? That's just
Wow,
Hey,
that's
it's a
crazy.
gift. It's a gift.
Bezos.
yeah.
Get him in there. Get him in the writing
Swole
room.
Smeagol.
Swole Smeagol. Get him in. He's available.
I won't charge that much either.
Yes, you will. He's
That's
worth it.
crazy. So we're gonna move on.
crazy.
That'll do it for the news. Crazy news.
crazy.
We're gonna talk a little bit before we leave about
First impressions.
first impressions
Yeah.
of Echo, but we're gonna do it in sign language. So this is gonna be really boring
That'd
for
be
you,
sick.
podcast. And
We've
go.
been training for a very long
Yeah,
time.
we've been working hard.
That's good. That's good. I bet that's really good
Yeah.
for the podcast people too.
Okay, that's what I said. No, first 2 episodes of Echo. The full season is out.
Right.
5
Yeah.
episodes.
Yep, 5 episodes.
So we've only watched the first 2 episodes. I've heard stuff on the internet about it not being good or whatever. Some people liked it, some people
Yeah.
hated it. My first impressions from the first 2 episodes, it was all right. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers here for the first 2 episodes. I thought the best part was when Daredevil showed up in the first episode and fought her. That was probably like, I was like, oh, okay.
I like that fight
But
too. That was a
other
good
than,
fight.
yeah, it was shot
actually-
really well.
I'm usually very picky about fight
Yeah.
scenes. I actually really like that scene.
The other thing I'm like, the violence just kind of seems like, it didn't need to be that. Like, to me, it seems that the rated R or the mature.
You mean like the super bloody part?
Yeah, I'm just like, I think they kind of used it as like, hey, this is finally a mature series. And to me, it was like, I don't know if it was that necessary. Yeah, but after the first 2 episodes, I was kind of like, my main gripe is that I don't feel any like connection to her, or I don't feel like she's that much of a likable character. I know she's not supposed to be likable because she's doing some pretty bad things. They try to kind of get you to feel bad for her and her story at the
You
beginning.
didn't feel bad? Girl, you're a girl dad, bro.
Well, yeah, but they must have not done it very well. And her name's Maya too, so
Yeah,
it should hit me right in the feels. But I don't know. There's just nothing that's really tying me to her that I really feel connected. So that's kind of my biggest. It's just left me kind of like, oh, whatever. Like, I don't know. I think my favorite character is Biscuits.
I was gonna say,
Dude, I thought you would hate Biscuits.
No, I love
Biscuits
Biscuits.
is a-
Biscuits is pretty dope. I'm
Great
not gonna
name.
lie.
And he has a snips.
He has a
healer.
blue
Yeah.
I knew
Crystal
you-
was like, "This is the best Marvel show. This is the best Marvel thing."
so dumb. When I saw him, I was just like, oh my gosh, she's gonna
That's
love
right,
it.
Healer gang, baby, let's go.
Healer gang.
But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, what are you guys' thoughts?
I liked it. I think I probably liked it more. I wasn't just like, oh, I thought it was like, oh, it was good. Like the fighting choreography was good.
Yeah, it's probably the best.
The first episode I think was struggled with being like, we got to catch you up real
recap.
quick to what it is and throw new stuff in and recap. But I really like the stuff, like seeing her growing up, like seeing the backstory of how she lost her leg and stuff like that. I thought that was good. And then the Daredevil, even the stuff before that, before Daredevil showed up, I thought the fighting looked really good.
Yeah,
It
the Cave Indians.
It was kind of a throwback to the Daredevil show, because they did really cool fight choreography. I really like the going into her perspective, like
Where
when it's
she doesn't hear anything?
Yeah, the sound's muted, and then she just like breaks the dude's neck, and then she's like goes in and fights. I thought that was really
the
cool.
heartbeats, the 2 heartbeats going. Yeah, that's cool.
So I think they're doing like interesting stuff with it, and I really like all like the supporting characters,
Like Biscuits.
Like Biscuits. Biscuits is good, bro.
His dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Jack.
That's the
Oh
name.
my gosh, that's the healer.
And I like the dude at the bowling alley. Like I don't know if they've said who he is.
I assume that's her dad's
brother?
brother, because when
They
the
said
the
the
grandma
Lopez
says
brothers.
the Lopez brother,
Yeah.
the Lopez
Her
boys were no
uncle
good.
then.
Yeah.
Yes,
so it's
her uncle.
Yeah. So I think he's really good.
Yeah, the acting's good in this.
Yeah, I don't think there's any character that I've been like. I feel like on some of these Marvel shows, you're like, look at the people, and you're like, you're clearly just an actor. But these, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
bad acting.
These people feel like they're real people in
Yeah,
in Oklahoma.
Although I will say that
we will say.
because
we
you'll agree with this. We talked about about like having your token Asian actor. That they always get
Right,
the same guy in
Asian
Hollywood.
guys.
I was like, this is full of the same
is.
token Indian actor.
Yeah. So that one guy, I can't remember his name, but he was in Dances and Wolves.
Yeah, he's in everything.
The dad.
Oh, the dad.
Yeah, the grandma,
grandpa.
the grandma also,
all these people were in Twilight.
and
According to Crystal, because all the
Really?
all the werewolves in Twilight are Native American.
Wait, really?
yeah,
So,
and her
like,
dad
half-
was also
half of this cast is Twilight.
yeah.
Oh,
So
I've never watched
that's it.
Twilight.
I just
Me
laughed.
neither, but Crystal was like,
I laughed at
that guy's in
that.
Twilight.
When
That
I
guy's
when
in
I,
Twilight.
when I was
John
like
knows all about it.
when I was like Marvel and what they typically do, I was like, yeah, well, there they are.
Well,
I mean,
I was glad that
I mean-
Biscuits was a fresh face.
yeah, but I hadn't seen Biscuits before. I think a lot of these actors are in Reservation Dogs also on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
At least I saw someone say that. But yeah, I did think the same thing where I was like, I've seen you before.
Oh.
But they're all good actors.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think I'm interested to see where it goes. I think the only thing that's throwing me is kind of like the supernatural side of it. Like she's got whatever this
she
connection to her
X-Men?
ancestors. They might make her a mutant. That'd be interesting.
I mean, that's why she has the super.
Those little spiralies.
What's that Pokemon?
Poliwhirl. Poliwag?
Yeah, that has a little Poliwag. That has a little. She's got the same thing on her
Poliwhirl.
hand.
Crazy that you even know that. that's good, man. Hey, that's
Catch
nerd
'em all,
cred,
bro. Yeah.
Hey.
Nerd cred. You didn't know the name, but you knew it was a Pokemon. That's good. Yeah, Poliwhirl. Yeah, Poliwag, whatever. Yeah, I was going to ask you how you guys felt about the ancestry kind of like flashbacks and stuff. For me, it feels weird. Like it's cool, kind of, but it's like the scenes that they're doing feels weird to me. I don't know. It's like, I get it. They're like, oh, here are the different like reincarnations or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's
for
like
her, it's of her
of
ancestors
the original
who had the
whatever her name was.
powers, and now it's going to go to
So it's
her.
like,
to her.
I get it, but I kind of don't. Like, I don't know. I wish it was, I don't know. I just wish it was a little bit better told. Maybe in the next episodes, we're going to see a lot more like direct influence and like, this is how it works. And this is like how she's awakening it or whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
well, in that second
we've only seen
episode,
this too.
that second episode, it says Alabama.
Yeah.
Where they're playing.
Yeah.
And I was expecting it to be like Roll Tide.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Saban coaching.
That dude that came out was dope.
Yeah,
They're like,
dude.
hey, we
Hey,
need the big
the
guns.
chief.
He's like LeBron James coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was.
He
broken.
threw the.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. They're kind of like, I don't know, because they start with it and then it goes into the show. So I'm wondering if there would be value to having it like interspersed in between the episode. So you go back to something there instead of just like, here's
Like
5
starting
minutes.
out the episode with
Here's 5 minutes and then nothing. But it's like you kind of get more of the story going along with. So it's like a flashback to there.
Yeah.
And you actually have scenes that might work better. But yeah, it does feel like a little out of place. I know what they're trying to do, where you're like, these are her ancestors that it's been passed down, the power, the Poliwhirl power that they've got.
Polyworld power. Like I was more okay with the like more like Aztec like
The
time
first
frame,
one?
like the first one, than like the Old West one, because the Old West one was in this like picture movie, like silent movie style during the Light Horsemen or whatever they were called. That was just kind of weird. I mean, I think a lot of people could see that as like fun, but for me, it just felt weird. I don't know. I didn't like the like type change, because in the ancient one, like if we're following the rules, the ancient one should be like freaking super ancient looking.
Yeah. Like on tablets.
On stone tablets.
Like, it should be like
yeah,
stick
it should be
figures.
just drawings
Yeah.
of stick figures. Yeah. Hieroglyphics. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. The middle one felt weird and awkward to me.
Yeah.
But so that's one of the issues that I have is this ancestor kind of how they're doing it, how they're portraying that power. And also the assumption of like, well, they're technically aliens and then they like turn into humans. So it's like, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some issues with effects that kind of brought me out of the show. A lot of the gunshot crap is really bad. She has, the very huge scene of her shooting Kingpin in the face was terrible. Did you see it? Did you notice anything bad about it? She went bang. She didn't even have any kick at all.
Strong, dude. She got
I
the
was just like,
whirlpool.
bro, what is this?
It's
And
because she can't hear. So it's not,
so it doesn't affect her?
Yeah.
Like physics?
It's a power.
Okay.
That's sick.
It's a power.
That makes
Made up,
sense.
but okay. A lot of things like that, like bad, like practical stuff. Also, the blood looks really bad. When they do this like gruesome stuff, it looks really bad in my opinion.
There was one that I was like, okay, like I get. In the first episode, she kicks a chair at a dude.
I thought it was sick, dude.
Yeah, but that chair
what part?
flies.
Yeah,
like that's
dude.
a metal chair.
What part was it?
It was
It's
when-
at the
before
first
she fought
episode before
Daredevil.
she fights Daredevil when
Oh,
they're
in that
they're
fight.
killing all the people. She like comes she snaps the dude's neck.
Yes.
And then she starts fighting for real. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
She goes in. First thing she does, there's a chair there, a big metal chair.
Yeah.
And she kicks it, obviously with her metal foot, but it just flies and just goes into like
that was
another
sick,
security.
dude.
And I was like, okay, like I've stubbed my toe on a chair.
You don't have a
before.
metal leg, dude.
Yeah,
You don't
but
have a metal leg.
I'm sorry. Even if you have a metal leg,
No
you're not.
way. Think about kicking a ball. You kick a soccer ball as hard as you can. You got a metal leg. You can kick a chair as hard as you can.
No way.
How far do you think let's say you have
Yeah, dude.
Immunity to
A
being
little-
hurt.
The
How
little
far
like
does he
school chairs, like metal.
was it
No,
plastic?
that's not. No, that's
yeah,
a.
it was.
That's no. It's not. It's not a plastic
Okay,
metal
a
chair.
metal chair is lighter.
No, it's not.
Aluminium, bro.
the plastic? Nah,
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah,
back
yeah,
off.
yeah,
of
And
that.
no.
And they don't fly
no,
in
no,
the
no.
air into a guy's
you kick it,
face.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They
it's
flop
physics, bro.
over. They
No.
flop over.
No,
No,
Chair was
no.
made out of tinfoil.
No,
That's
there's
what
no
it
way. Rewatch that. Go if you're listening to the podcast. Go rewatch that scene and be like, yeah, that chair, no way that flies that much. Here's the other thing that I may be I'm probably in the minority about this.
was. Okay.
I think the worst character in this is Kingpin.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Why
are you holding it like
His-
some crazy offensive thing?
because people love his
The
characters.
God.
People are like, he's the best,
Character.
and I just feel like
I don't know if he's the worst.
his voice
just TV
drives me. It's like so over the top. Like, we are family.
I think he's
we are the best together.
when you're talking
It's
about
just over the top.
When you're talking about good actors, he's definitely the weakest. And so when he talks and when he
You're
acts,
crazy. Kingpin's good, dude.
He's not. Rewatch
Take
those
him out of that
scenes.
stupid Hawaiian shirt from Hawkeye, and then he good.
No, but even like just his delivery on lines. I don't see why people
You
love
hate
him
Yoda
so much.
too?
No, it's just to me. It's
Why
like
does he talk like that? It's overacting.
no,
Stupid puppet.
Yoda overacts.
That's what he's saying.
That's a
No,
crazy.
That's what he's
Yoda
saying.
sounds
he's saying
all
the
right.
same
Dang.
thing.
No, it's just his is it's too much.
crazy.
He's trying too hard. Yoda's
Rewatch
trying
those
too
scenes. Rewatch those scenes, and I'm like, dude, you're cartoony. Like we've made the step to live action. You don't have to be the Kingpin from Spider-Man animated series. Like
Did you
It's
watch
too
the Daredevil
cartoony.
show?
He's been
He's the-
live
he's the
action
same
for
in
Daredevil.
I
Daredevil,
didn't
bro.
like him in the Daredevil. He's too over the top.
I think you're
no.
overreacting a little
Yeah.
bit.
I'm just saying.
I'll be honest.
I feel like that's why I said from the beginning. This is people aren't going to agree with this. I
think Billy Jack is probably the worst.
Billy the dog.
Or whatever
Billy
his
Jack.
name is. What's his
Biscuits.
name?
Yeah, Billy Jack.
Billy Jack. I think he's the worst because he didn't attack, didn't help anyone out. Or was he?
Anyways, that,
Oh,
might. He
by
might.
the way, Billy Jack would have been dead. Faux show. Flying at like 70, 80 miles an hour, catching her on the truck.
That was
Push the brake on, flips. That dog's out the window dead.
Nah, he good.
yeah, Billy Jack.
Billy
Billy
Jack.
Jack.
Billy Jack
Yeah.
went out the
Nimble.
window and then went
Landed.
back in. He's
Billy
also
Jack's
a
an
polywog.
ancestor. Yeah,
Yeah, he's got the little on his belly. He's like, shh.
I'd be sick.
But yeah, anyways,
Dang, you
Yeah,
don't think
that's
Kingpin's
bad.
good?
unpopular,
take.
unpopular opinion,
bad
but I
take.
think
We're
he's
used to
too
him.
cartoony,
We're used to him.
It's all right.
and I don't like him.
I think he's one of the weaker.
Yeah. And how do you survive a gunshot
J-
to the eye? Impossible. I'm just saying
He's
it.
a CW.
I'm just saying.
actor.
Is he a mutant too?
He's a CW.
Is he,
actor.
is he
might
a,
be.
is he a
He's a
polywog
CW
too?
He might be.
Is he a Pokemon too? Is he a Snorlax?
He is inhumanly
Hey, bro.
strong.
Never mind. I'm
He's
not
got
gonna-
something to him.
Is he a Snorlax?
I don't know. He tanked
Yeah,
the
but he
bullet
got
to the eye.
a bullet to the eye.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Got thick bones.
And you
She
see,
also jumped off a train and hit the top of a car.
yeah,
and
but
didn't
we've
die.
already established he's a polywog.
Okay, well there you go.
Wait, she's a Well, she also has a leg, metal leg.
Yeah.
She's laying on that, indestructible. So, I mean, she actually has superpowers, but she doesn't know it.
Yeah.
I mean, she,
Well, that's
she
the
does.
other thing too.
Hey,
That's the
Kingpin
other thing
might
too.
have superpowers.
I will
She
say a
has more
thing.
leniency.
Would you guys not freak out if you guys like tried to push something and like some powers came out and a little thing appeared on your arms? You wouldn't be like,
No, because I'm not a coward.
you wouldn't be like, hey,
I'm a hero.
you wouldn't want to talk to someone and be like, hey, yo,
I'm a hero.
check this out, check it, or be trying it later on and be like, let me see if I can
For
get
sure
this to
that.
work again.
For sure,
Well,
that.
yeah, obviously.
Like
sure
if
that.
webs came out, if I was, I'd be trying to spray
I mean, have you seen those videos?
everywhere. Where they catch stuff and then they're like,
They immediately try to shoot web out.
Yes,
So
bro.
it'd be like a dude catching like a plate, like with crazy
yeah, I've seen them,
reflex.
and they're like,
You're like, oh, and he'll be like, ah. It's so funny.
I
dude.
love those. Those are awesome. That's
so
what I'd
funny.
be. The
That's
whole
what you'd be.
after that.
That's what,
That's what I'd be doing.
That's how I be, bro.
But that's exactly it. Like the whole next episode better be her going like on things, trying to like. I hope I'm wrong about this, but I hope the whole next episode is her
How do
trying
I
to figure it out.
recreate the power
Yeah.
that I tapped into?
Yeah, she'd stick her leg in like
It's a
a
classic.
wrench or something and be like,
It's a classic superhero trope. Once you find your powers, you get
exactly.
super interesting.
Like figure this out.
I
Let that
would.
whirlwind happen
I would.
again.
Your polywag over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so based on the first two episodes, where are you guys at? You liked it pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's
So you're like in the
it's like a
sevens?
solid 7
Yeah.
for me right now.
I think I'm in the
6.5.
sixes. Yeah,
6.5.
I'm 6.5 probably. Yeah, for now. Well,
Yeah.
who knows? It might get
He
really
wants-
good.
Yeah, I mean, I need
get
more Kingpin. You know,
My thing is, I just feel, I just don't know why the show was made. Does that make sense? Like it's not,
do you
even when I heard that they were making this
funsies.
series, I was like, who's clamoring for
Oh.
an Echo series? Does that make sense? So to me, it just seems like it's one of those shows that you're like, it's not going to get the attention of a lot of people. And for me, it's not like a big character that I'm like, oh, I was clamoring to know more about her. I don't think she was that intriguing in the Hawkeye series to be like, oh, we need a series for her, you know?
I think this is exactly why these TV shows should exist. So you can try, and maybe it's not freaking Captain America or whatever, or Iron Man, but it's like, it might be it might hit, but it's a low risk. You know, it's a TV show or whatever, series, whatever you want to
I
call
guess
it.
so.
I think if there's any time to do it, you can do it on that, or you could do like not a what if, but like you could do one-offs or something like that. But I don't know. I don't find this bad. It is interesting that they chose to do this specific character, but I find the deaf aspect very interesting though. I like the heartbeat and like those different like perspective changes. I think it's interesting, but I don't know.
No, I just think they should spend their money on something more. Like maybe we get a Biscuit spinoff.
Well, you
Coming
might
out of
get it
this
now.
one. I mean,
Keep
yeah,
watching.
we
You
might.
might get
You
it.
know, who knows?
Biscuits. He's a cool dude.
He is.
He's a ride or die kind of homie. That's the kind of see. I hope my cousins are like that. You know, I hope my cousins are
will.
ride or die. Are you a Biscuits?
I am a Biscuits. You know I'm your Biscuits.
All right, dude.
You show up. You show up.
pick me
You
up.
need help. I'll be like, yeah, bro. What
I'm
you
gonna
need?
jump on a train.
Yeah,
You
hey,
okay?
track me. You got
you
it.
got it.
No questions asked. He's just like,
Let's go.
I'm on a mission. Like the guy's dope.
Exactly.
I'm on a quest or whatever he said. That was funny. But yeah,
I think that's it.
Echo.
Yeah,
We'll
that'll do it.
next episode. We'll talk about probably the rest of the series. We'll probably finish it up. One thing we didn't get to that you reminded me of. Apparently, there's a What If Star Wars show in the works. They might be
real?
doing. There's a rumor. We haven't watched What If. I haven't watched What If season 2. So we might.
Busy,
Yeah,
bro.
it's been-
Holiday
they
season. It
came out in the
over
holidays.
Right.
Terrible time.
So we might talk about that if we get to it.
Terrible.
We'll see. Stick around to the Nerd Age podcast to find out. We'll be back next week with more Nerd Age. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube. Exactly. And thanks so much for hanging out with us. See y'all next week.
See you.
See ya.